What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices. Going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Noto, Meansy, all the greats. Plus, you get access to this nice little prop shopping tool where you see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus where the best lines are at. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it is where I'm throwing in all my bets each and every day. It's my Discord. If you have an RG or an SAO membership, you can get on in there. Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord. Boom, throwing it in the chat there. We got a boatload of bets here. Look at all these bets. I'm not even going to be able to go through all of them probably because I am exhausted because I've been gambling all day. It's a good one. We got baseball. We got a horrible Pittsburgh game where I'm just hammering the unders on a lot of bets. You already saw it earlier this week. I bet Chase Claypool under 3.5 receptions plus 120%, under passing yards minus 110. Already went through those, so not going through again. I'll tell you the weekend bets that I have so far. I'm not going to dissect them too much just because I don't have time. Jalen Hurts over 9.5 rush attempts minus 120 over at DraftKings. He's been hitting that like crazy so far. 17-12, I believe, in the first two games. He is going to run. Aaron Jones under 12.5 rush attempts going up against that tough Tampa Bay defense. Think they're going to end up passing the ball more. They obviously have A.J. Dillon in there. 12.5 is just too high. You can get minus 130 over at Bet365. Kyle Pitts under 3.5 receptions. He had 2 and 2 in the first two starts. 7 targets and 3 targets in the first two starts. Has not been great so far this year going up against Seattle. I don't think that he's going to get right in this spot. He may, who knows, but getting massive plus 150 odds over at Superbook. If you don't have that, plus 139 odds over at Caesars. I hit them both because Superbook will only let you get $100 down on a single prop. But if that's all you're betting, then just go bet it over at Superbook. Great odds. Tua under 261.5 passing yards. I know he went absolutely nuts last week. Don't expect it to happen again. Line is sitting too high, minus 115 over at MGM. Go hit it. Let's talk about tonight's NFL action. I've got a bunch of bets. I already talked about the two that I bet yesterday. Harrison Bryant over 1.5 receptions, minus 110 over at DraftKings. Harrison Bryant, 2+ receptions in each of the first two games. I think he had 3 and 4. Been getting a decent amount of volume. 1.5 is too low of a number. Getting close to even money. George Pickens under 2.5 receptions, minus 105 at Tipico, plus 102 at PlayUp. If you have that in your state, too high of a line. Guy has not been used a ton. The offense has been out there a lot, but this is going to be a low-scoring game. Cleveland's going to pound the ball on the ground consistently this entire game. It's going to be low-scoring. It's going to be slow-paced. Time possession is probably going to be owned by the Browns. Even when the Steelers do have the ball, they're going to be rushing the ball a lot. Under 2.5 receptions for Pickens. Under 18.5 receiving yards for Harris. Minus 110 over at Bet365. Harris has not been used as much in this offense. I'm hitting the under. Next up, Mitch Trubisky. Under 31.5 passing attempts. You can get this minus 113 over at Caesars. The line is slowly starting to move down on other sites. I think this number is too high. Again, time of possession for Pittsburgh is not going to be great. Under 31.5 passing attempts is just too high of a line. I'm hitting the under. Easy money. Now let's get to some baseball. Just boatloads of baseball bets. Tyon over 4.5 strikeouts. You can get it plus 120 over at Superbook. I wanted more money on it, so I hit the over at minus 111 over at Caesars. Also have the over of 15.5 outs. He's been solid so far this season. Generally doesn't have the longest leash, but still we'll get far enough into this game to hit this easily. 20.3% K rate, but is slightly better going up against left or pretty splits neutral. Low walk rate going up against an impatient Boston team. Really the only two good batters at this moment in time are Devers and Bogarts. This is not a great lineup. Tyon should cruise here, hitting the over on both his strikeouts and on his outs. Martin Perez over 5.5 strikeouts. You can get this minus or at plus 130 over at Superbook. I hit it again at plus 115 over at Caesars. Just a great spot for him here. This game starting within the hour. Going up against the Angels. Obviously, there's Rengifo. There's Trout in the lineup, but even Trout strikes out a decent amount. Outside of that, it's kind of hot garbage versus lefties. 27% K rate for Ford, 31 for Adele. Everyone just kind of is hot garbage here. Perez, better strikeout numbers going up against righties. Only going to face 2 lefties in this spot here. It's a bad lineup. Perez has been solid this season. I don't know how, but he's just a magician. Just keeps hitting good start after good start. I'm hitting the over. Joe Musgrove, over 4.5 strikeouts, -120 over at DraftKings, over 17.5 outs, -165 over at DK. He hits this at the outs at a massive clip. Just I think 23 of 27 starts this season, he's hit the over on outs. Even though you're paying a ton of juice and it's a tougher matchup going up against St. Louis, I don't care. I'm hitting it. St. Louis historically, or this year, a worse team going up against righties than going up against lefties. Musgrove, good to both sides of the plate. Does not walk many guys, sitting at 5.1% walk rate. There are a few low walk bats in here. Dickerson, Molina, Pujols, Arenado, Edmund. Do not walk at a huge clip. He should get through this pretty clean. And as for the strikeouts, 25% K rate. Even though he's going up against a lower strikeout St. Louis offense, Snell just struck him out 11 times yesterday. Clevenger just cruised the other night. They're not looking too great going up against the Padres. I'm hitting those overs. Shane Bieber, over 5.5 strikeouts, -145 at DK. Over 18.5 outs, -115 over at DK. Going up against the White Sox, done well against them. He's good. Should be able to come out this pretty cleanly. No one walks in this lineup. Above average K rate lineup. Bieber should come out pretty cleanly here. Like the over on strikeouts. Like the over on outs. Kirby, over 16.5 outs. Guy's been super clean. Hitting this in 6 of the last 8 outings. One of the outings he got injured in, I believe. 39 pitches thrown, so came out early. If we don't take that, 6 of the last 7 outings. Going up against the A's in a great ballpark over in Oakland, one of the best pitchers ballparks in the league. Kirby does not walk guys. It's not a patient lineup. High strikeout lineup, bunch of bad bats. Kirby, a little bit reverse splits. They're likely going to platoon out a few bats here. And then they'll have the likes of Langeliers and Garcia, who may be good at some point, but right now are just not major league ready. This is just a spot here where Kirby has been so efficient recently. I love the over on this spot. 16.5 outs, -117 at Caesars. Zach Allen, under 17.5 outs, -113 over at Caesars. He's going up against the Dodgers. That's kind of it. Too big of a line going up against Dodgers. He's been good so far this season. Underlying numbers have been better than his actual numbers, or his ERA. It's much better than his xFIP. No, there's a spot where they're just going to. It's a brutal matchup. Too high of a line, hitting the over. Johnny Cueto, over 2.5 strikeouts, -160. Cueto gotten super lucky so far this season. xFIP much higher than his ERA. Not a huge strikeout guy, and this is not a big strikeout lineup. But that's why the line's sitting at 2.5, which is just a low line. Hit it. Hit the over. Kyle Bradish, over 3.5 strikeouts. Rough line matchup going up against, you can get this -135 at Caesars. Rough matchup going up against Houston. Sitting at 4.5 in a lot of spots. I just think the over is the easier bet here. 21% K rate. There's Pena in the lineup. There's Mancini, probably Maldonado. So there are some strikeouts here. Bradish is a better pitcher than this. Hitting the over. Hayden, under 4.5, making his first major league start, or no, second major league start. What is it? Hayden Zneski. Second major league start, was decent in the first one. AAA, not a great strikeout guy, sitting at 22% in AAA. Don't expect him to be as 30.5% he has been so far this season. I'm taking the under. It's an easy bet here. Yes, he is going up against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not very good, but I'm hitting the under there. That's my bets. That's it. I got to get back to work, but let's have a big day. Good luck tonight, guys. I'm out of here. Play it, kids.